Well, no it isn't. That's Ninja Gaiden 1, Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ninja Gaiden Black Sigma 1, whatever. Kicking your ass before kicking your ass was mainstream, let down only by the asinine backtracking and key hunting. That was 1 part Resident Evil and 3 parts the parts of Elden Souls where you try to figure out where the f the game wants you to go, in order to start having some fun. Now this one's awesome. Off. I want it on record that I do like Soulslikes. Well, the official ones at least. Well, one of the official ones. More so than the others, and I do enjoy a somber, dark fantasy story that's subtle and understated, but what I like even slightly more than that as a world-renowned professor of literature is anime ladies with big tits getting tied up by evil ninjas, who's then rescued by a good ninja all the while without any visible changes in her countenance, possibly because her face is as plastic as her boobs. I also like this a lot. See, straight to the point. Fiends, Archfiend. Stab the shit out of those 2 things, and now we have drama. Also ninjas. I think whoever designed the dismembering system deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. The gist of it is simple. Lop off a limb, perform coup de grace. Fail and... Also, sidebar pro tip. Hold block after a kill and dead souls stay where they are. Head stomp and immediately hit and hold heavy attack to suck in all the souls at once to be able to do this. You'll need it, trust me. Also, get the stick. It's the best stick. See, this is why Ryu stands head and shoulders above any number of named the zombie soul protagonists, with maybe possibly the exception of the robot. Because, and I do want this part narrated in full so you understand the significance of it, Ryu is the type of person to come to this tall building looking to rescue from the top floor. At which point, instead of fighting his way up the building, he immediately climbs to the top of a completely different building across the street, just to strike a cool pose, then jump off and crash headfirst into the lobby of the first building, so he can kill every motherfucker in the place for reasons which escape my limited understanding, except to say, the coolest equivalent thing I ever did in Elden Ring was to stab some homeless people in the back, who were really just kind of minding their own business. There you go. That's what happens when you don't kill people with medical disabilities fast enough. Oh, hey, where's Boobies? And then you fight Spider Ninja Gandalf. You shall not pass! Who, in his death throes, allows you to perform the Ninja Gaiden's ADHD version of a QTE, which isn't actually timed, so I guess it's just a QE. Oh yeah, I didn't even want these tits, I got my own. She's actually the least overtly sexual historical director at Langley, believe it or not. Ryu Hayabusa. Also, Ryu's dad is named Joe. You know a game is special when the carefully choreographed action in the cutscenes is comparatively tame, and can't even hold a candle to the crazy shit you can do for yourself in-game. I honestly forgot I had these. Also, Ryu is Jesus. Did you even know he was Jesus? He's also Wolverine. The reason I said I forgot I even had healing items is because the combat flows so well, is so fast and frantic, that concerns about your own safety is secondary at best to the notion that you're always just one move, one more combo away from pulling it off, and you really don't want to back off lest you miss the happy ending. One inch lower and he would have come all this way for nothing. See, while Sekiro Wolf was busy studying the ways of the blade and the ways of stepping on other people's blades like an asshole, Ryu was watching pro wrestling and deciding that tombstone pile drivers really should begin 15 feet in the air and end with a splash. Ah, you missed. And after going back to Vito Japan, you next fight Sephiroth, sexually harassing the Statue of Liberty. Man, this game never gets boring. How long do you think it takes Ryu to climb all the way up to those tall places that he then jumps off? Why is this guy sparkling? Is he a vampire? Thanks for doing my job for me, I guess. Oh, fuck you. No, this is really a good stick. What the f? Don't bother with the stick, just shoot the big face in the face. Are you doing the soul-sucking thing I taught you to do? You should be doing the soul-sucking thing I taught you to do. That guy wants to kill me so much, he's developed a blind spot for subway pillars and trash cans. What the shit is... If I could do this in a Souls game, finding my way around might actually be fun. Oh shit, f*** you. Ryu is a good boy who obeys road signage. And then you fight a big turd, where the only tip I have is to go for the shins like the midget you are. Okay, are we really sure there wasn't a mistranslation somewhere and she really works for the American Tourism Board and not the CIA? Next time you go to the Statue of Liberty gift shop, make sure to get the big ass sword from the Japanese museum. What the hell? Oh, this guy is so
I recognize that stink.
The boss isn't so bad, so as long as you stay the f away from his cheap unblockable throws. Yeah, like that one. F you, Sephiroth Thor. Anyways, that ends the tour of the United States of Canada portion of the globetrotting adventure. And what's up next is the story of a small Japanese boy's puberty awakening at the hands of more tits. Play ball once this time. Honestly, this is a nice little interlude if you just want to f around for 15 minutes or so and light some people on fire. What the? Because the combat is just that much fun and head and shoulders above what has sadly become the norm over the last decade. Yes, it does have a counter. No, it's not absolutely important, you need to learn how to do it, but it sure is fun to pull off.
I expected the Dragon Ninja.
Wow, sexist much?
Is that you? Sanji, oh, you're all right.
And then we go all the way to Venice, where illegal immigration has led to a startling rise in violent crimes against the local populace. Oh right, get the nunchucks, they're even better than the stick. There you go, puzzles solved. These are my kinds of puzzles. There you go, platforming solved. These are my kinds of platforming. You know, I'm only using the stick until I get enough money to fully upgrade my nunchucks. Ow! What the shit, you fucking... Come on, dive. Why won't you... How the f does... I'm only using the stick because the nunchucks can't reach. So, there you have it. Better combat, better tits. Has the official backing of the CIA, and I never got lost because to find out where to go, just look for the stuff that you haven't killed yet. A breath of fresh air in this era. But be sure to join me next time as we keep playing this true masterpiece and make unfavorable comparisons to other plotting RPGs masquerading as action games, while furthering debates about over-sexualization in video games. No, not her. Did you even see Ryu's bodysuit? It's riding up into his ass crack, and frankly he's setting a very unrealistic standard for what male asses can ever aspire to look like anywhere, especially for people who sit on them all day to play good video games. So the first thing you're wrong about Ninja Gaiden 2 is that it's a remake of a 2008 game on the Xbox 360. Show of hands, who here actually remembers the first Ninja Gaiden 2? Hands down, you lying little shit, your dad wasn't even born in 1988. I mean 1990, whatever. Pro tip, hit the skeleton monster in its glowing non-existent dick. Oh shit, I almost got lost there. Speaking of... The second thing you're wrong about is thinking Ninja Gaiden 2 was always one of the classics of the true action genre, where the impetus isn't on stats or a story implied or explicit, or getting lost every time you turn a corner because the game is very inconsiderate towards those who might be directionally challenged, but rather butchering your way through every single thing that exists down this corridor, which was unfortunately gifted by the developer gods with an animation cycle. These are pretty good sticks too, but not as good as the other two. This isn't a stick.
Not the Colosseum.
I thought we were in Venice. F you. Pro tip, avoid getting hit by his big stick with a knife on the end of it, and hit him with your own smaller sticks, and then you can steal his big stick with a knife on the end of it. So I mean, I guess all this time you could have just called the army? Are her boobs ray traced? I can't tell, I think they are. The first remake, what put the series on the map, was exactly the kind of game where you got lost turning a corner, because you needed keys and something dead or alive crossover, lots of bouncing tits. You're also wrong about a lot more, which we'll definitely get into in a little bit, hook, line, and sinker. So all this time, we could have just called like one American. Magic powers suck. One of the ways you're wrong, as it turns out, is to think Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is best played on a PC or a PlayStation, or that other thing, swiftly sliding into utter irrelevance. And no, it's not on the Nintendo Switch. I checked. It would make that console catch fire. Where the f is the Switch 2, Nintendo? My body is ready. Oh shit, this is the coolest level in the game. No lie, watch this. Women drivers. Ryu is now fighting robots and Metal Gear Solid terrorist ninjas with nunchucks. We have officially peaked as a species in terms of entertainment. Oh well, definitely get these. Ryu is also almost bulletproof.
How many times will you stand in our way?
At least 2 more, I played this game before. See, I love this. Spontaneous second boss fight against hitherto unintroduced kaiju. Say what?
Fire!
And then a monster destroys Russia, making the greatest national leader of our lifetimes very happy.
None have survived.
Are you sure this isn't actually Canada? Actually, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is best played on the Steam Deck I don't actually own. That will probably explain the somewhat low-res video footage of gameplay you see throughout this video, because as soon as you turn a few sliders down and lower the resolutions a bit, okay, a lot, okay, to the point where the sliders can't slide anymore to the left without falling into communism, f you think you're the only one with a bazooka? I hate these ghost fish. Off. No, seriously, these are not the best sticks. The advice of this one is just wait till he comes down. What the hell kind of sense does that make? You're a fire god.
For the village.
Hey look, more tits. Wait a minute, I recognize these. And then turn on every available AI upscaling black magic. This little pocket PC will allow to render frames you don't actually have. You'll still have, well, not particularly agreeable footage for an action game, noted for its difficulty and demand for responsive controls and lightning quick reflexes. But at least you can play it while taking a fairly healthy shit now, because none of the levels last very long. Her powers are pink because she's a girl, you see. The advice here is, ow, fuck. Whatever, I win. Also, I recognize that ass. Oh man, look, Ryu is being a ninja and everything. I'm very stealthy. The game does not lack for enemy variety. Just look at the maggots and pirate mutants with arm cannons. I peed in that river, sorry. With this boss, the tip is to play a lot of Monster Hunter. Oh cool, Ryu's boss fights are now trash mobs, because you're just so much better than you were in level 1. See, even these guys know it. I don't know whose idea was to put ray tracing into this game, because frankly, I never noticed ray tracing much in any of the games I played, because I am a handsome man who actually wants to play the games I own, and not just want to admire my own handsome reflection in a puddle before writing 3 essays about it on the internet. I don't even think you can turn off ray tracing in this game. If you could, it'd probably save the deck from coughing up another lung. But to be quite honest, any 3 nanoseconds you're spending not bouncing through the scenery or slitting up a motherfucker is time wasted, because you could be doing something worthwhile with your life, like buying more Ubisoft stock. No, really, that stock has tanked. It has nowhere to go but up, trust me, bro. The advice here is women shouldn't turn ugly because men will beat you with a stick. And then flush you down a toilet.
Wait.
Her eyes are up there. You, that's my move. See? The next thing you're wrong about is thinking I'm wrong, because even though the graphics has received a generous upgrade from what was available by the Beijing Olympics, the level design and overall aesthetic ceiling is still stuck in the 360 era. Sure, whatever cutscenes can't compare to what you can do in the game. Keep jumping off tall stuff, Ryu. Boss rush incoming. Off. which means for every kick-ass level set in a futuristic cyberpunk Tokyo, or a feudal-era Kyoto, or I don't know, a very introverted Japanese person's idea of New York and Venice, which I'm pretty sure didn't have a coliseum in it, you also get a bajillion levels set in caves and sewers in the Amazon rainforest, which just kinda looks like Florida swampland, and reused but noticeably smaller maps of the Rome and Prohibition-era Chicago maps for those interludes where you start asking uncomfortable questions like where are the big-titted ladies this series and entire expanded franchise is known for, because my thumbs are hurting and I need a break to play the game one-handed to give my wrists a workout for a change. Idiot. This is everybody who's not good at action games watching you play. How did she even get here? Those levels do exist and look about on par with the rest, and let me tell you, slightly worse graphics are a lot easier to stomach and the benefits of trace rays a lot more difficult to notice when the latter half of the game takes place exclusively in the Master Demon's colon.
Sing for me.
The game is not misogynistic, I swear. See, she's okay. It's the gameplay that ultimately saves it, and undeniable that when the gameplay is already doing the heavy lifting by distracting you from graphics that are, no matter which way you cut it with claws on your hands and feet, dated to the point that you'll be doing yourself a massive service by playing it on a comparatively teeny tiny screen with the resolution lowered anyways. At this point, if you still need advice, you can probably just go play Call of Duty or something, because otherwise you're totally not worthy of this epic loot. It sucks, go back to the stick. Oh shit, the game really did turn into Call of Duty. So her real name is Irene Law, how did I even know that? Yeah, the final boss is Diablo, which is more than I can say for the latest Diablo game that doesn't actually have Diablo in it. So you can play this game for about 2 hours, because that's how long the battery lasts on a deck with this thing. But it's okay, the whole game is only like 8 hours long, so that's 4 fairly long shits before needing to recharge, which will finally make you get up and let somebody else use the bathroom. So you like wastelands and cowboys and alternative history, eh? Well, it just so happens I also write books. Genuine novels with plot and characters, and this one is available now on Amazon about an alternate World War II Pacific theater that is like Firefly mixed with Inglourious Basterds.
See how feed us into your Nazi boss.
And I also have a Patreon now where if you subscribe, you get DRM free versions of the same books as soon as they come out. Why? Because I like money. Also because I'm posting entertainment opinions on YouTube, so frankly, I should have done this years ago because you know I'm completely without capability for shame.